Awesome. So thank you so much, everybody who came out on this, Friday evening. We're just getting started with ETHDenver, and we're gonna have such a great week here. Today, is this gonna? Yeah, here we go. Awesome. So today my talk is on tokens, accruing value, and I'm Joseph Schiarizzi, the founder of OpenDollar. So today we're gonna talk about RuneScape. We're gonna talk about digital economies. We're going to talk about party hats and digital gold and really fun stuff as it relates to tokenomics and tokens and things that we're designing here at ETHDenver during the hackathon and in general through crypto. And our goal for the day is to inspire more creativity with token value accrual systems and generally tokenomics in general as you're working on that. So just really fast, hands up, who's ever played RuneScape? Okay, a lot of people. Great. Not everybody. That's okay. I won't hold it against you. Either way, whether you have or you haven't, I won't hold it against you. So just before we get into that, just a quick introduction of, about me. I'm Kappa Joseph. I've been a Solidity developer for like 7 years now, which is crazy to say. I'm the founder of OpenDollar, a new decentralized stablecoin on Arbitrum, and I have previously contributed to OpenSea, Consensus, Gitcoin, some DAOs like Public Nouns and Metacartel, and Raid Guild, and a lot of other DAOs. And you can find me on Twitter or Farcaster or Telegram or wherever you want at Kappa Joseph. And yeah, so I've contributed to a lot of DAOs that have launched tokens or projects that are exchanges like OpenSea for other tokens. And I feel like I spent a lot of time analyzing the floor prices of NFTs and watching different market cycles and how value has been accrued. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So here's an audience poll question. We've got our RuneScape character, our old school RuneScape character up here, and he's got a green party hat, which is one of the rarest items in the completely centralized MMO RuneScape that's been around for a long time. What do you think the dollar value in US dollars of a green party hat in old school RuneScape is? Any guesses? Raise your hand. Yes. $50,000. No, wait, not quite. Wait, actually, it used to be $50,000 in 2015, but it's a bit less than that now. Any other guess? Okay. The actual value is whatever someone is willing to pay, right? And so right now, that's actually slightly more than $5,000 today. And just like people are tracking token prices and stock prices and the bond prices, for any digital asset that there is a market for, there is a market price. And even though it's illegal to, or not illegal, but against the rules of RuneScape to trade in-game items for real currency, for real US dollars, even though that can ban your account, there's still a market for it, and there's still a market price because it's an asset that has value, because people think it's cool, and it gives you clout because it's very rare. There is nothing in RuneScape that accrues value through revenue, through any kind of staking, any kind of, economic connection to green party hats. Yet, even though it's on this centralized server and even just trading it can get your account banned, it's still worth over 5,000 US dollars to buy one. That's how much it costs. And they're actually getting flipped every day. There's actually quite a lot of volume. Compare that to most NFTs that were launched in 2021, right? In 2021. Most of them are at zero now, right? Or how many ERC20s or meme coins that were launched in 2020 or food tokens, that had very complex tokenomics and value accrue and all this stuff that people have published over the years. And they're at zero. They're worth $0. And our green party hat that does nothing but look really cool has a lot of value because the network that it's a part of, RuneScape, has a lot of value because it has active players. And being part of that has transitioned some of that value to the clout of having a green party hat. I think it's very interesting, and there's a lot of lessons to learn as we're building products in crypto. If we want them to be valuable, let's look at other digital assets that aren't crypto and learn, and instead of repeating the same mistakes and not learning from things that are actually working. So here's some examples of things that are valuable. We haven't gotten to tokens yet. We're still on RuneScape Gold, DDS, which is a dragon dagger that's poisoned. Very good, great for PvP in RuneScape. Rare keys, armor, potions that boost your stats. There's a market for all of these things. And even though no one is trying to buy any of these potions with actual dollars, you can buy RuneScape Gold with actual dollars. And the price of it is fluctuating every day. Right now, 1 mil in RuneScape is about 17.5 cents. But there's no revenue. There's no buyback. There's no, dividends to stockholders. There's none of the things that we generally assume a digital asset needs to be valuable. But this stack of money, would cost $200. So what's going on with that? We've got this term tokenomics, right? And I'm not going to assume everybody has heard it before, but in crypto, we use this term tokenomics. It means token economics, pretty simple. And it's a design system for accruing value to the tokens that we launch, because everybody wants to make money on their businesses, their startups, or create DAOs that can be funded sustainably. And so we say, okay, what are the tokenomics? What are the ways that that token is accruing value? And just listing some of the more popular ways that people have done that, there's a buy and burn, which Rye, Maker, a lot of stable coins use this, CDP systems, lending protocols like Aave. Fees from a protocol or fees from a game go to buying a token and burning it. And it's similar to in stocks when you're doing a stock buyback, right? The company is buying some of your stock, and theoretically that makes it go up in value for people. Is that always true? Well, we can look at the graph for different governance tokens that have this structure for different DeFi protocols that have gone straight down in the last 3 years, and say this is not always the case. It doesn't always accrue value how we want it to. And then there's revenue accrual, like you can lock sushi tokens into sushi protocol and earn some of the fees. You can lock looks into looks rare. And there's lots of different variations of this where the token holders are getting a share of the fees, getting a share of the revenue from deposits or from a protocol or DAO that's operating. And that's also kind of the same in stocks, very similar to a dividend, right? You hold on to a stock in a company, they have some earnings, they give that to the stockholders in revenue, in a dividend. So not super unique, right? And these tokens, a lot of them have also gone, straight down over the years, despite there being revenue in the protocols. And then there's the ones that I care a lot less about, which are greed and manipulation tactics on meme coins that create ways for certain people to make money, but I don't think are really reasonable or sustainable revenue paths or things that we should focus on in crypto. And then there's this fourth version, which is governance, right? And everyone's gotten a governance airdrop of valueless governance tokens, right? ARB token, Spork potentially, the Spork token for ETHDenver could be considered this, a commodity of sorts where we're governing some resource, but that resource doesn't necessarily have revenue that's going to the token holders, right? ARB token from Arbitrum. I think Arbitrum is an incredibly valuable DeFi ecosystem. And the block space that they're selling is a commodity. So Arb token governing that should have value. Even if the revenue from the network is not going to Arb token holders. Maybe it will in the future, and that will change things. But I still think that the token, the tokenomics of that are very interesting and unique. So we've got the buy and burn is probably most popular. I just screen capped this like 15 minutes ago from Joseph DeLong, who was the CTO at Sushi and is working on a lending protocol and some other things. And a diagram of the maker buy and burn model, which takes fees from minting DAI and from the CDP and buys the maker governance token and burns it. Is that really a sustainable way to drive value, and do people care? I would say, yeah, some people care a lot because we're used to this notion from stocks, from companies, from traditional finance, that for a company to have value, it has to make money. And is that really true anymore? Arb token is worth billions of dollars, and zero fees from the network go to Arb token holders. And there are lots of stablecoin protocols like Vesta Finance that have shut down that were doing this buy and burn designed after Maker that, even though it resembles this thing that we expect from traditional finance, the stock buyback, it hasn't accrued value as people expect. And so in practice, is this really working out? Probably not. I think we need to be more creative and lean into the things that only crypto can do. If you start a protocol, that's not a company. If you start a DAO, that is not a company. You don't have to design the value accrual for that DAO or that protocol's tokens after traditional financial things like buy and burn, stock buybacks, or dividends. We can do something new. So, block space. Block space is something that's new. Block space did not exist until, Bitcoin kind of. I would say block space as a commodity did not exist until Ethereum, where there's only a certain number of blocks on the Ethereum blockchain every day, and there's a lot of transactions that want to get into it. And so the fees for that are really high, and Ethereum is essentially selling block space, right? Every time you pay gas on a transaction, you're buying some block space. Then Arbitrum, as a rollup, gets to resell that block space. Rollups are essentially buying block space as a commodity wholesale and selling it at retail prices, right? So Arbitrum as a layer 2, as a rollup, is doing the same thing as Costco, buying onions wholesale from a farmer and then selling them at retail prices, right? Because they get to batch things together and they get to sell this commodity. Except that in the United States, actually trading onion commodities is illegal. Who's ever heard that? Trading onion commodities is illegal in America. Yeah, some people have heard of that. Yeah, because one time a guy tried to monopolize onions, right? And that is a quality of meat space, of IRL trading, right? If we're trading a commodity like wood, like onions, like corn, whatever, oil, whatever else is on commodities markets, there's an actual physical resource of that. There's an actual there's onions, they need to be transported. There was a guy, he got a lot of onions into a warehouse, and it was chaos, right? So go look into why onions are illegal to trade on commodities markets, right? But block space can be traded. The Arbitrum block space is governed by the Arb token, for example. And because in this digital world, in crypto online, our commodities don't have the same properties as onions. They don't have the same properties as physical objects that need to be stored somewhere, that have, shelf life. And we can design new value accrual methods around this idea of treating block space as commodities, as treating the governance of commodities as something valuable. So my plea and what I hope that you take away from this talk today is please be creative as you're working on tokenomics for your projects, as you're deciding what to buy in crypto or what to participate in, and as you're working on your hackathon projects at ETHDenver this week. Try to do things that can't be done in RuneScape, that can't be done in the IRL world, that can't be done in traditional finance. Let's try to do things that are new, that are unique to crypto, and show the world that there are real valuable use cases, that there are things that you can do in crypto that you can't do outside of it. Smart contracts make that possible. Treating commodities as digital things makes that possible. And I'm sure that many of you today will come up with even more from there about what are the unique things that you can do in crypto to accrue value, to govern commodities, and how can we take that even further to create new financial experiences for people. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. That's my talk. I hope that it was at least a little bit interesting, and yeah, thanks for coming.